dice. If FBI handwriting experts could prove that signatures on fill slips from the Stardust were forged, it would be cast-iron evidence of the skim. It took months of painstaking work, but finally the experts had their evidence. They discovered that hundreds of the signatures did not match samples supplied by the casino employees.
The handwriting experts told us after their examination that the fill slips had been forged by the casino manager, Lou Salerno.
The FBI had cracked the case. The fill slip scam had allowed millions of dollars to disappear without trace. Along with evidence gathered from their surveillance operation, the feds could finally prove that the Stardust was operating a skim.
We were able to show, once and for all, that organized crime had control of the gaming houses here in Las Vegas. I think people knew that. They would not admit to it.
7 individuals and 3 corporations, charging them with various counts of filing a false tax return, interstate transportation of stolen property, embezzling and converting...
For decades, Vegas casinos had been one of the mafia's biggest sources of cash. But by the 70s, the scale of the skim had triggered the FBI's investigation and ultimately proved the mob's undoing.
This was a jewel in their crown, but, you know, they got greedy. They want more and more and more and more. They're never satisfied. And as a result of that, greed brings them down.
Time had run out for the mob. The Nevada Gaming Board revoked the licenses of Vegas's mafia-backed corporations and forced them to sell their casinos. The mob had lost its biggest earner, and someone had to pay. Just like in Casino, Frank Rosenthal, the man who secretly ran the Stardust and the inspiration for Robert De Niro's character, narrowly escaped death as his car exploded outside a Vegas restaurant. Rosenthal immediately left town. Now there was only one man left, the Chicago mob's own enforcer, Tony Spilotro. The FBI hoped he would turn informer on his bosses.
He was too arrogant and too tough to turn. He would have never turned. He would have bit the bullet.
In June 1986, Spilotro was preparing to stand trial for the murder of Jerry Lisner, with his old buddy Frank Culotta testifying against him. But Chicago's mob bosses had other ideas. They feared Spilotro would talk, and blamed his crime spree for bringing the feds down on their heads.
A few days before he was to appear, we got some information, our Chicago office of the FBI, that no one knew where Tony Spilotro was.
Eight days later, the bodies of Tony Spilotro and his brother Michael were discovered buried in a field in Indiana, 2,000 miles from Vegas. They'd been beaten to death in what was portrayed in the movie Casino as a mafia hit. In 2007, a Chicago mobster confessed to carrying out the murder. Law enforcers had lost the chance to put Spilotro behind bars, but few mourned his passing.
I cheered. I thought that was a great event, because he died just like he lived. He was not good for society. He was bad for society. He never did one good thing in his lifetime. So should I be unhappy? No. I thought it was good that he died and went to hell.
Frank Culotta entered the Witness Protection Program. He has no regrets that he left his criminal life behind.
I got a chance to do it over again. I'd done it over again in a better way. As far as going back the way I was, that's the way it was. That's the way I was raised. I knew no better. I knew no better, nor did Tony.
Tony Spilotro's death marked the end of the FBI operation in Vegas. The government dealt the mafia a massive blow that savaged their income and damaged their national organization. In 1986, evidence from the FBI's investigation helped convict a number of high-ranking mob bosses from cities across America. Chicago's Joseph Aiuppa was sentenced to 28 years in jail. The battle for Las Vegas was over, and the law had won.
I believe our investigation was what broke the back of organized crime as far as their owning and operating casinos. And we really, I think, changed the entire face of Las Vegas for the better.
It was the end of an era in Las Vegas. Over the following decades, new legitimate corporations took over the Strip, transforming the city's skyline. The mob had left a thriving city behind them. But their defeat in Vegas meant that they would never be as powerful again.